All right, it is 4:30, so we'll go ahead and call our regular meeting to order for February 6th. We'll start with our Pledge of Allegiance and our invocation by Chad Menser. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please bow with me. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, thanks for a beautiful day. Thank you for just letting us all gather, Lord. Continue to bless the leadership of our community, Lord, with the county and the city, Lord, and bless our decisions, Lord, and give us discernment as we make decisions that affect each and every one of us, Lord. Continue to bless us as a city and as a nation. In His name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Kim, can we have a roll call?
Yes, sir. Misty Cavanaugh. Here. Tony Space.
Here.
Adam Townsend.
Here.
Larry Knopfsinger.
Here.
Frank Stevenson.
Here.
And Chad Menser.
Here.
Mayor, we do have a quorum.
All right, at this time, we'll start with our approval of minutes from the January 3rd meeting.
The January 3rd, 2023 meeting was held in the City Council chambers at 4:30 p.m. It was called to order by Council Member Frank Stevenson. We had the pledge and invocation. We had a roll call, and all council members were present. We had approval of the minutes of December 19, 2022. We also had approval of the bills and payroll. We had a council committee report. Where we appointed Frank Stevenson as the chairman of the city council. We also had department reports of planning, zoning, water department updates, and the business license. We also had a first reading of an ordinance for the creation and sale of a franchise of the privilege of constructing, transporting, operating, maintaining, and distributing natural gas. That was first reading. Second reading will be held tonight. We had executive orders where we had an appointment of Shannon Harmon to the Tax Appeals Board, and then appointment of City Council Committee assignments. And then we had several municipal orders for appointments to the Tourism Advisory Board. And then we also had an adjournment.
Are there any corrections to the minutes? Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Next, we have approval of bills and payroll.
We have the total general fund of $347,490.43. Total sanitation of $225,440.65. Total electric utility office of $216,815.43. Total water filter of $218,337.59. Total wastewater collection and treatment of $259,116.42. We also had an estimated biweekly payroll, governmental of $47,238, police of $141,034, fire of $147,811, transportation of $25,583, cemetery of $9,749, park $17,127, sanitation of $55,581, light fund of $91,094, wastewater treatment of $20,204, wastewater collection of $33,143, water and filter of $49,136, for a total estimated biweekly payroll of $637,701.
Do I have a motion to approve the bills and payroll?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Next, we'll have department reports. You do have in your packet the business license report to review. And then Miss Debbie Todd, if you don't mind to come up, we'll do planning and zoning report.
Mayor Council, have the January report in front of you. We issued 10 building permits for the month of January. We had 1 sign permit, 4 HVAC permits, and then we had 7 mobile food vendor permits. So this warmer weather that we've had the last few days, bringing out the mobile food vendors again. I did want to bring to the council's attention, at the last planning commission meeting, we did approve the final development plan for phase 1 of Ruby Junction. So all we're waiting on to issue a building permit over there is signed copies of their restrictions and their plans. So, but that has been approved. And then also heads up, I do have a zoning change request that came in. The Planning Commission will review that at their meeting this month. It's going to be our first 0 lot line zoning district. So it's from the Madisonville Country Club. It's a lot, 4.8 acres next to Frank Ramsey's old place, which Madisonville Country Club also owns. Part of it's zoned agricultural, and then the frontage is zoned high-density residential. Again, it's like just under 5 acres, and they're asking for 0 lot line to do some patio-type homes.
Any questions for Miss Debbie? Thank you very much, ma'am. All right, next we'll have our fire department report. Chief John Dunning. Oh, nope. Major Wade Simons.
Apologies. Please keep Chief Dunning in your thoughts and prayers. He had to leave rather quickly for a family emergency that just occurred since we actually just met a little earlier. So also keep me in your thoughts and prayers as I get through this, because I literally have just looked at it about 25 minutes ago, but I promise you we will answer any questions that we have at the end, okay? So first, let's cover the December 22 report for the fire department. Totaling the medical runs for the month was 87 medical runs, 52 fire-related runs for a total of 139 runs. The overlap in there for those runs were 22%, which means there were runs going on at the same time that we had to have multiple trucks in service for. You can see the averages. They're printed out on there for each station on the average response time. So we were responding at about 1 minute and 24 seconds, excuse me, on average for each station. And our on scene time is about 4 minutes and 45 seconds on average for each station. Obviously, that fluctuates monthly based on where some of the calls are. If we end up with a call that's farther outside, closer to the city limits, that always extends our time. So those were those ended up being. So our training hours for the month was 566. Obviously, December's a month that's what we call our wrap-up month and do what we need to do to close out everything for the year. So that number is generally a little less than what it normally is for December. Fire prevention inspections, we completed 15. Code enforcement cases was 103. Our community programs were 12. Smoke alarms, we issued 2. Community contacts for adult contacts was 1,310. And the children contacts was 1,312. And you can see that on the following pages how they broke that down, where that ends up being. I will note that on the bottom of this, that rescues or medical emergencies does make up for the month of December, 62.59%. So, and the rest of it is broke down in there for the month of December. We also completed 6 pre-incident surveys. They were walkthroughs of larger facilities or incidents or issues that were going on within the city that we had to deal with or may have to deal with. Public education, we had 3 incidents that we dealt with that, or 3 occasions, and public relations was also 3 different occasions that we managed. So that was for the month of December. So to round out the calendar year of 2022, we had 1,513 incidents, with 986 of those being medical based and 527 of those being fire related based. So we had 15% of those calls were overlapped. So ended up being about 221 of those calls ended up being an overlap type basis, where again multiple trucks were in service at one time on different calls. So for the year, for the average, the turnout time or the responding time for each station was about 1 minute and 19 seconds, and our on scene time is 4 minutes and 36 seconds. We had a total of 12,261 training hours for the department. That is a collective number that we all strive to get that high of a number. We have to have a certain amount of hours, and the department has our regulations in there to get that number that high, and those are all, I don't want to use legitimate training hours, but those are training hours that are all documented and are all in a learning type atmosphere. So for the big picture pre-incident plans, it's something that's really important at the fire department. We completed 586 of them for the year. Fire prevention inspections, we did 150, and code enforcement cases is 2,217. So obviously, you all deal with those and see those numbers being what they are. So pretty large number, but we have a lot of cases that the fire department manages through code enforcement. Through community programs was 195. Smoke alarms issued from the department in 2022 was 100. Adult contacts was 9,451. And the children contacts was 11,229. So again, though the breakdown of the percentages or what those calls ended up being are in the following pages. Any questions?
Any questions for Major Simons?
Good job. Thank you.
All right, thanks, sir, and we'll definitely keep Chief Dunning in our prayers. Next, we have new business, second reading of the ordinance for creation and sale of franchise for privilege of constructing, transporting, operating, maintaining, and distributing natural gas.
Keep reading. I'll let you keep reading that.
Kim will read that.
An ordinance of the City of Madisonville, Kentucky, providing for the creation and sale of a franchise for the privilege of constructing, transporting, operating, maintaining, and distributing natural gas along and under public right-of-way within the City of Madisonville, Kentucky, for a term of 5 years, in consideration for which the successful franchisee shall pay to the city an annual sum equal to 1% of gross revenues, and further establishing a bid procedure for the award of said franchise to the successful bidder. Whereas the city has determined that it is in the best interest of the citizens to create and offer for sale a new gas franchise for a term of 5 years. Be it ordained by the City of Madisonville, Kentucky, hereinafter referred to as the city, that the mayor of the city or such other person as the mayor may designate shall offer for sale to the highest and best bidder a non-exclusive franchise to enter upon, acquire, construct, operate, maintain, and repair in the public right-of-way of the city a gas distribution system within the corporate boundaries of the city, subject to the provisions of the franchise agreement attached hereto and incorporated herein by reference. The mayor or such other person as the mayor may designate shall, as soon as practicable after passage of this ordinance, offer for sale under sealed public bids the franchise and privileges created herein. Such bids shall be in writing and shall be delivered to the city clerk at 67 North Main Street, Madisonville, Kentucky by 10:30 a.m. on February the 28th, 2023. Advertisements for such bids shall be published in accordance with the requirements of KRS Chapter 424. All costs for such advertisements shall be borne by the successful franchisee.
All right, do I have a motion to approve the ordinance?
So moved.
Do I have a second? I have a motion and a second. Are there any questions? You'll notice that the only change in this franchise agreement is the dates to extend the contract. Kim, can I have a roll call?
Yes, sir. Christie Cavanaugh?
Yes.
Tony Space?
Yes.
Adam Townsend?
Yes.
Larry Knopfinger?
Yes.
Frank Stevenson?
Yes.
And Chad Minzer.
Yes.
The next, we have a resolution of Madisonville Municipal Utilities accepting the grant, approving the grant assistance agreement, authorizing the amendment of the Madisonville Municipal Utilities annual budget, and authorizing a representative to sign all related documents.
Where's the,
You can explain it.
okay, this was done back in, got the original agreement. We had this done back in March of 2022, and we did this same thing at that time. We actually passed a resolution at that one. On that one, what happened, we did the resolution, we did everything we were supposed to do. The assistance agreement came later we had no control. And so project is done. This was for the Bartlett Avenue project, and we're getting $380,000. The project is done. We have to do this again and pass this so we can get our money, because we've already done the project and we just need to get paid. So whereas the Kentucky General Assembly has appropriated funds for this project, the Madisonville Municipal Utilities has previously determined that in the best the public interest to acquire and construct certain facilities and improvements to the grantee's utility system. And whereas the grantee desires funding from the KIA for the purpose of acquisition and construction of the project. And this is for the cleaner water program for the project. Now therefore be it resolved that the governing body of the Madisonville Municipal Utilities, the grantee hereby accepts the grant award and approves the agreement between the grantee and the authority to provide the necessary funds to the grantee for the project, and that Mayor Kevin Cotton is hereby designated to be the grantee's authorized official for this project and is hereby directed and empowered by the grantee to execute the agreement, related documents, and agreements, and to otherwise act on behalf of the grantee to effect such grant. And that the grantee hereby agrees and commits to include by amendment its annual budget if we have to, but this is already approved in the budget.
So just for point of clarification, this is not new funds coming in. This is the same funds that we've already approved before, and this is just to receive those funds and clean up the paperwork date because the agreement came in after the resolution date. So do I have a motion to approve this resolution?
So moved.
Second.
Do I have a motion and a second, or is there any discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Next, we have a resolution to declare a lot as surplus.
Whereas the city of Madisonville owns the following lot, it's 381 1/2 South Hipple Street, and the city of Madisonville requests to dispose of the lot by means appropriated according to KRS 82.083. Now therefore be it resolved as follows: the lot at 381 1/2 South Hipple Street is now declared as surplus property, and the city is authorized to advertise the lot for sale and dispose of the property by means according to KRS 82.083.
All right, do I have a motion to approve the resolution to declare 381 1/2 South Hipple as surplus?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any questions?
This is a structure we tore down, correct? For a code enforcement case?
And
Okay.
deed is attached that he gave it to us.
And this will come back before council, so we can approve the,
Comes back before you all on the seal bids. Yes. So we have a motion and a second. Any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Next, we have a municipal order for the appointment of Gina Matcham to the Tourism Advisory Board.
It shall and hereby is ordered by the City Council of the City of Madisonville, Kentucky as follows: that Gina Matcham shall be and hereby is appointed to the Tourism Advisory Board, and that the term of Gina shall end on December 31st, 2023, and that she will serve in accordance with the laws of the United States and the Commonwealth of Kentucky and the ordinances of the City of Madisonville, and that this order shall become effective upon adoption by the City Council.
Do I have a motion to approve the appointment of Ms. Matcham to the Tourism Advisory Board?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, motion passes. Next, I'm excited that we have a proclamation. We have some special guests in the room with us. Most of them I've been able to work with at some point in some form or fashion. It is our Family Resource Centers. And the proclamation reads that whereas Family Resource and Youth Service Centers remove the non-academic barriers to students' achievement, bridge the gaps to needed resources, and collaborate the resources of school and communities for the success of students, families, and communities. And whereas Hopkins County is serviced by 13 Family Resource and Youth Services Centers that have assisted our students with school and community resources to bridge gaps and remove non-cognitive barriers to learning, and whereas Family Resource and Youth Service Centers develop a system of support in their local communities and provide opportunities for children, families, and the community that allow all students to learn and the community to thrive, and whereas Family Resource and Youth Services Coordinator Appreciation Week recognizes and raises awareness of and celebrates the more than 850 Family Resource and Youth Services Centers and the coordinators across the Commonwealth and the critical role that they address in the success of students, families, and schools. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Kevin Cotton, do hereby proclaim February the 6th through the 10th, 2023 is Family Resources and Youth Services Coordinators Appreciation Week in Madisonville, Kentucky, to honor the Family Resource and Youth Services Coordinators who work tirelessly to serve our students, families, and communities with the motto, whatever it takes. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the city of Madisonville to be affixed on the 6th day of February 2023. If you all would please join me up here in the front, we are going to present this to you and show you our appreciation.
It's good.
Come up, when to get tased.
I'm just going to hand this to you all, and then I'm going to stand right over here out of the way.
All right.
Okay, that's
For those of you that don't know, the Family Resource Centers were instrumental in the disaster recovery during the tornado. They stepped up. They were able to help the students and the families, and we could not have done that without you. So a big thank you goes to each and every one of you and the entire team in Hopkins County schools. So thank you very much for all your hard work, and we appreciate what you do. With that being said,
question.
we have a question on the floor.
It's a comment. Tony and I spent, 3 days in Lexington to seminars. And we listened, there was 435 people there, all councilmen. Frank was with us, I'm sorry, mayors, county clerk, or city clerks. And out of sitting around talking and meeting with all these people, you don't know how privileged you feel when you leave that to be from Madisonville, Kentucky. Because our problems, they've all got problems that we've had and taken care of, and it's really an honor, it really is.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second. Thank you.